Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Williams' Voice of Reason show is live on the air. Get to your phone lines right now, 855. That ain't the number. I'm about to give y'all the Sirius XM number. This ain't Sirius XM no more. 323-965-1600. That is the number to dial. The topic is you have no idea. It's about to be a problem up in here. But hopefully not. Hopefully we can learn from each other and gain some insights from each other. This show is going to be crazy. But you know what I like to do before we get into the topic? I got a couple of things I need to promote. I got a couple of things I need to talk about. Number one, my homeboy. What can one man do? Life the Griot. You gotta go support this brother right here. Very important. The dude, I've known him since he was 14. Graduated from the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs. He's a therapist, a clinician, a counselor. He's all of that now. And he helps inner city youths. The United States of America tragically imprisons more of its citizens than any other nation in the world, not counting social costs of damaged families and communities. Incarceration costs taxpayers on average of $30,000 per year. Yet, government spending for primary education amounts to less than $10,000 per year per student. The majority of those incarcerated in the United States are young people held for nonviolent crimes, young males of color. This dude has put together a mentoring system based off of the game of chess. And he teaches the kids how to play chess. And he teaches the kids, okay, you start as a pawn. But any pawn that makes it to the other side of the board can become any piece he desires. So he's teaching them the police are your knights, right? Your religion is the rooks, right? He's explaining all of this stuff in context to chess and how your role and how you fit into the game. Beautiful brother, very intelligent, an incredible poet, author. Like I said, man, please find this brother's work. I think it's www.surprisinglyprofessional.com. www.surprisinglyprofessional.com. Please support my homeboy, Lemuel LaRoche. We call him Lem. Cool cat. Gotta support his movement. Now, my uncle, my big brother, my mentor. Man, I gotta surround myself with mentors. Because if I get to the point where I think I got all the answers, then I'm no better than Lucifer. So the fact that I got people that I can trust, like Bobby Glanton Smith, right? Real Men Don't Play is his website. Go there, realmendon'tplay.com. And then don't forget his book is coming, Real Men Don't Play. You got to get your pre-orders in. You got to go to his website. You got to connect to his movement. Very, very, very important stuff. In this book, he interviews Sam Watson. He interviews Lionel Hollins. He interviews Jim Brown, Keith David. I mean, he's interviewing some heavyweights in the game. And if you're not following Bobby here at rmconlive.com on Thursdays, then your life is a failure. It's a waste. You should just go on ahead and cut your wrists right now and walk out into the middle of traffic because you don't want to do anything real with yourself. So, again, support Bobby Glanton Smith. Now, I haven't read this book yet, but it was referred to me by Bobby. Normally, I like to read the books before I promote them. However, Bobby says it's a humdinger, and I'm going to go with Bobby Glanton Smith because I respect the brother's insight and wisdom. The Green Collar Economy, How One Solution Can Fix Our Two Biggest Problems. Van Jones. That's the name of the book. Really quickly, Bobby, you said Obama did something with this brother, right?
Yes, he brought him in his first administration as an advisor on how to implement green jobs and deal environmentally with a lot of the problems that are associated with health issues and, environmental issues. And he was one of the foremost authorities on creating jobs via the green economy. Subsequent to that, we've seen solar and wind explode without any. That portal is still wide open, and it's just a matter of time before we have to make that transformation from fossil fuels to wind and solar. And this brother is way ahead of the curve in respect to that.
And then really quickly, thank you for that, and please go support the book movement here. Really quickly, Bobby, you have been bringing water to my house for months now. What's up with that water? It's a special kind of water. What's up with the water, and how can they get it from you?
Well, they can reach me via my email address, bobby@realmendon'tplay.com. I've been drinking what is referred to as Kangen water for over 6 years. Jim Brown, Keith David, Ernie Hudson are some familiar names that
Jerry
people
West
would know that have experienced the water and had positive effects. Me personally, I'll be 60 years old in July, and it was very important that I stay off medication as it relates to our subject matter today. Because there's a lot of brothers running around here now missing out sexually because they have a number of different diseases that are brought on by problems with their internal system. This particular water has been a godsend to me and millions of people around the world. And it's called Kangen water, which in Japanese means return to origin. The people in Okinawa, Japan, where the company produces the machines that creates this water, have the longest lifespan anywhere in the world.
One of the blue spots, right?
Got that right.
Wow. So get at Bobby if you want to get that water. I mean, he's been giving it to my son. I mean, I really appreciate him doing that, and he's been giving it to me and the family. We've been drinking it, and I've been feeling real good, you know, getting energy. I carry it with me. Bobby always gets on me when he sees me drinking other things. God damn it, you're disrespecting the water. So my bad. I wanted to give him that love. Now, before I bring in my homegirl, my friend, and also my coach, she coaches me too, ladies and gentlemen. Before I bring her in, you love her. You know how she gets down. Veronica Conway. Before I do that, I want to play the video of Black Mastery. I want to play this video, and then we'll come back and talk to her because she has a special offer for anybody, whether they have it or not, who want to get down with her. She has a special offer. We'll be back in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, very powerful, hypnotic, and just moving video, man. Go to blackmastery.com right now. Call to action. Change your life. Rework all of the bullshit you thought was true. Just get it all out. Go do this right now. Blackmastery.com. That's the website. Veronica.
Hey, Zo.
Talk to me about your special offer, right?
Well, I wanted to make it available for folks to do a little bit of laser coaching with me. Sometimes people can be a little bit intimidated by the coaching process, but all coaching is really loving you into your greatness. It's just helping you. You know, I always say you either have results or you have reasons. You either have the result that you want or you have a story about why you ain't getting that result.
Right.
So all coaching is to help you smash the reasons. So, you know, we do that in love and in safety. So if people want to call in right now and get a little laser coaching, I'm open to that.
323-965-1600. Did you guys hear that? She just offered coaching for anybody who wants some right now. A laser focus like a life mechanic. You drive your bullshit life into her garage, and she's got all of these tools, and she can tinker around. Free coaching for anybody who wants it right now. 323-965-1600, laser focus. And while we're dealing with that, I just want you to give just a couple of more kind of bullet points of what Black Mastery is, what it is designed to do, and what are the expected results after dealing with it or being a part of it or using it.
See, I discovered in all of my studies, I've been at this for about 15 years, and I realized that all of the stories that we've been fed from the dominant culture about what it means to be black that we have these race wounds, right? The first time I found out that I was black, it meant that I was fill in the blank, you know? And so as I began to work with African-American clients, I realized that that was such a core part of our identity and that the meaning of that was so negative that I wanted to do something that would help us throw off every negative idea that we have about what it means to be black so that we can begin to do our life from a posture of our God self. We could do our goals and our businesses and our careers and our families from the truth as opposed to the story that we've been fed about ourselves. So this program not only goes after and smashes the limiting beliefs that stops us, but it also helps you set up a plan and a strategy. It helps you stop procrastinating. It helps you develop new habits. So it's really a very comprehensive way to get the goals that you want, beginning with who you think you are and restoring that to the truth.
Wow. Wow. So it can undo Jim Crow. It can undo light skin, dark skin. It can undo self-hate. It can undo all of these beliefs. Listen, I listened to it. There's a portion of this Black Mastery that I really love. One is the revolution, or your inner revolutionary.
The inner revolutionary, right? The part of you that sabotages. We all have an inner saboteur. You know, you take 2 steps forward and the inner saboteur says, no, you're not good enough. No.
Right.
That kind of gets rid of that so that you can get some peace with that part of yourself.
And then the other part that I like also is the belief breakthrough. Is that what it's called? Where all the limiting beliefs you have accumulated from your parents, from religion, from your hood, from your culture, it breaks all of that down, destroys it all. It's crazy.
In about 20 minutes, which is the deep piece.
Wow.
You only act inside of what you believe. You only collect evidence for what you believe. So if you subconsciously believe not good enough, not smart enough, can't do the business, can't whatever, then you'll only collect evidence. You'll only look for things that support that. So if you go in and begin to smash that, then the world really does become your oyster because you believe that anything is possible. And so then you begin to collect evidence for that too.
Right. So at any point during the show, call us and get some laser coaching from Veronica Conway. If you're trying to start a business and you don't know which way to go, call her, talk to her about it. We'll stop the presses so she could correct your whole get down. If you're in a negative relationship situation and you don't know what kind of decision to make, stop the presses and call her. 323-965-1600. Free laser coaching from someone who is revered by the greats. Iyanla Van Zant narrated the Black Mastery NLP program. Trust me, she is no joke, and we're offering it to you for free. And we know how niggas are. Niggas love free chicken. They love free gambling. They love free pussy. They love free everything. Free. So guess what? It's free today, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. So respect the offer. We're about to take a quick break, and when I come back, the topic is it's going to go nuts in this mug. 323-965-1600 is the number to dial, and we'll be back. But don't forget, call to action, blackmastery.com right now. Make your order. Let's do it. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned, and now it's topic time. Why did I play that video again? It is important to the topic, and you're going to see why. Today's topic. 323-965-1600. Get to your phone lines right now. The Vagina Bar. Is there such a thing? Is chivalry dead? Right? Is courting dead? And if they're dead, if those chivalry and courting, if they're dead, is it because the lady has died? The Vagina Bar. 323-965-1600. What do you think, or what do men think they know about sex that they don't, as it pertains to women? Right? I know men, we're a little confused about women and their sexuality. Maybe you guys could help us. Do we have double standards for women that put women in a negative light to the point where they can't live freely while in relationship with us? Double standards, stereotypes. Why are women afraid to ask for what they want and need in bed? Do you think if a woman really unleashed her full sexual potential on her man, that her man would either get sprung or see her as a hoe? Right? Where you learn that shit from? Who taught you the ball gargle like that? 323-965-1600. So, some women can't. Some women. Somebody tell me, ladies. I don't know. I'm not a woman. Tell me how much lying you do as it pertains to holding back your true sexual desire for fear of ridicule. Do you lower your vagina bar because you can't really raise it with the type of men you're interfacing with? 323-965-1600. Have men gotten a pass about how little they know about the female body and how it really works? If so, why? Is the vagina the woman's sole / most valuable prized possession? If so, why is it so easily obtainable? Why is the market on pussy so cheap? Pussy is cheaper than whiting, a pound of whiting fish right now.
Did you say whiting?
I'm just cheaper than whiting.
I was like, whiting.
Cheaper than a pound of sandal.
That's hilarious.
I'm just saying. Why is it so easily accessible if it is your most valuable commodity? Has the porn industry... Questions, Brandy. I know you're ready to cuss everybody out.
No, not me. I got questions.
Has the porn industry commoditized the vagina, making it seem less precious and desirable, thereby causing women to lower their standards? Somebody call us, 323-965-1600. Do most women set the purveyor for good guys than they do for the bad guys? Seems like bad guys, we got to hack around your pussy defenses, your pussy standards. Bad guy get in that ass when he ready to get that ass. Good guy got to jump through a hole and hoops like goddamn hamster. Why is that? Get at us, Brandy and Whitney. Talk to us about this shit and don't lie, because I'm grading.
Oh, no grades for me today. No, thank you. What's up, Whit?
What up? What's
they got to commiserate
Yeah,
first.
we got to commiserate.
Teamwork.
Gosh, I don't know where to start. It's a bunch of questions there.
I'm just saying. Get at me. Pick one.
Pick one. First of all, when you put this value on the vajayjay, are you attaching a monetary value because you said it's cheaper than
most women attach the monetary value. It ain't us who put a price on it. It's you.
No, not necessarily. We do.
I was going to say, I just had a conversation with a friend the other day.
And what'd she say?
This girl just bounced around from 4 different dudes, and he took her to Dubai, and then this one, she's not feeling him, but he owns 17 pizzeries, so she's going to be with this dude. And I'm like,
does she like any of them?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I don't even know her. I was just like, whoa, that's why I can't find a man, because she
got them all.
She got them all.
So she's charging for it.
She's charging them.
So you telling me access to free pizzas is the price of the pussy?
That's it, apparently, for that one.
Christ alive. That's why you niggas is in trouble. Brandy, answer the question.
It's going to take a little bit more than a free pizza. Okay, just a little bit more.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But I don't attach a monetary value to that part of myself.
Nope.
I don't think that you can do that, because I think that in and of itself cheapens what I have to offer.
Wouldn't any price you place on your pussy cheapen it?
That's why I said I do not attach a monetary value to it. That is exactly why.
Well, then why is it so expensive?
Now, I don't attach a monetary value to my vagina, but my time, of course, is very, very. No, I'm just being silly here.
That's an interesting question. Which is more valuable to men? A woman's time or her pussy? Because to me, a woman's time is just as worthless as her pussy.
Hilarious.
I just have to be honest. It's just as worthless if she's not working with something internally.
Right.
If she's a vacuous, empty cum receptacle, I'm not going to be very interested for long. After I've cum dumped, I'm done. You have to have something more. And I think when you have something more internal, it increases the value of the pussy.
I agree.
Somebody speak on that. 323-965-1600. Get at me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you know, we live in a modern society, obviously. Things have changed, and, of course, people are a lot freer about their sexuality, men and women, which I think is a good thing because I think that women have been forced for so long to be repressed about our sexuality, and it has totally just disregarded the fact that we are sexual beings, too. We have needs. We get moody when we're not getting what we need, whether you want to admit it or not. I know I do. So it's nice that we live in a place where we can make decisions without being, well, at least in Western society, without being beheaded or whatever for giving it up. However, I think that because of the sexual environment that we live in, it has kind of made it sort of cheap and easy.
Do most women like to be choked?
I don't know. That's personal. You got to ask on an individual basis.
I'm asking you two individual women in this motherfucker now. Do you like it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's cool.
When was the last time either one of you had an orgasm?
I'm not at
real one.
liberty to discuss it.
No,
Never mind. Go ahead, Whitney. Fuck it then.
Two of you,
Whitney's
go right
ass.
ahead.
Go ahead.
It's been a couple years.
Like a real one?
Like a real
good
one. Like a real one. Because I think I need to be mentally stimulated, probably more like...
We're going to give Whitney
It's been a while.
default B- to start the show.
Hold on a
Thank
second.
you, Whitney.
She gets an
For the
A minus
truth.
for that.
Just for the
Why is
truth.
that an A? Why do you get a higher grade for not having
You
an
get it.
orgasm?
You get
I've been
it. You
getting
know,
kicked out.
if she gets the high grade for telling the truth,
Oh, okay.
your punk ass starts off with an F-.
I didn't lie. I just think, hello, okay, so again,
Christ.
I come from a background where, you know, I'm sorry, but I wasn't taught that it was okay for me to just discuss my specific
You
sexuality.
was just talking about the new age woman and the free sexuality.
Specific.
What you want to do? 1 foot in tradition and 1 foot in modern
You
times?
got it.
Well, then that's why you
exactly how I
confused.
do.
Talk about that pussy.
I'm not confused at all. I'm not confused at all, and I am not about to make my very specific individual vagina.
But
I think that is
let me
one
ask
of the
you this.
things that has taken away that ladiness
Ah.
of it all. Okay,
Ah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you about what happens in my bedroom just because you demanded that I tell you. That's my
come at.
business.
And mine is and me.
My
I'm telling y'all so you can learn and figure it out.
How about it?
Figure it
Okay,
out.
now she just said something real important, and it ties to one of your earlier questions, and that is figuring it out. A brother named Joe Williams did a song many years ago. Said, "My baby ain't no jockey, but she sure taught me how to ride." Now, the reason that's important is sometimes you got to admit, you know, we don't know what we need to know. And if you're a real man, you don't want to stay in the dark because it's just a matter of time before things fall apart. So what is it that men are missing in terms of the ultimate satisfaction of a woman?
What is, yes.
But I think we need to tell them, like, they can't read us. Like, that's why I'm very open and talk about it. Because, let's do this, and that way. If it's not, you know what I mean?
Go ahead, Whitney.
I feel like dudes, this might be wrong, but I feel like dudes always are satisfied when it comes to sex. But women,
It don't take much for us.
it doesn't really take that much. Y'all can, I don't, whatever. But
You slide right up into that little,
you're good.
right up into that little pastrami wallet, and it's over.
Y'all can slide into the thigh fold. Okay, it's just, you know.
It's all good. Huh?
But now dudes
Mine's
think
sweaty.
guys, I feel like, are greedy, selfish. They just come in, do their thing, and they're out. And you're like, what just happened? This wasted my time. Now you have 2 bills. I'm gonna send you 2 invoices. You wasted my time and my, whatever. I didn't get satisfied. So I mean, talking about it to me is the only way to try to. It's
liberating, right?
No, absolutely. Yep. In the context of you're in a situation with if you're in a situation with, what are you laughing at?
Somebody said 5.5 pumps. Count if you like. Hilarious.
Funny. No, I think it on a private level, when you're with your lover or boyfriend, husband, whatever it is that you're with at this time, you guys should definitely be open to talk about. I'm not saying that I'm so repressed that I'm not going to talk about sex. I'm just saying that I'm not.
You're just saying you're repressed a little bit. No,
I'm not. I'm saying that I'm not broadcasting the last time I had an orgasm on radio that's going to be on the internet and YouTube that my aunt, my mom, and everybody else is listening to.
They're going to call you and figure out how you pulled it off.
Yeah, they're going to ask for directions. Where's the GPS to that nut?
Listen, I believe that I probably came from a long line of cartographers.
What is that?
Go deeper.
No, y'all figure that one out.
See, that's the thing.
What kind of mystery?
We're trying to solve some of these riddles today.
We want answers. Answer this question. I'm going to ask you this question then. Just tell me, because this has been my observation, maybe Bobby's as well. Why is it that women tend to give the bad guy a little more leeway in terms of her, standards and beliefs about it? I mean, why does it seem like the good guy always, gets, he has to struggle more?
He gets the kiss on the lip. I mean, the cheek.
On the cheek, right here.
Okay.
I think that is because she's probably trying to build something real with the good guy, so she doesn't want the good guy to look at her as some cum guzzling, whatever you said earlier.
But it's okay for the bad guy to see her that way.
But she's not looking at him like, yeah, I'm going to have children with this weirdo and do this, that, and the other. She's probably looking at him like, yeah, this is going to handle my itch real quick. And then I'm going to take my time with good guy because I want him to value me and my vagina and all that, see that I can hold down the household. And
I just think it's a lie.
Build something real.
I think it's a lie.
No, I don't think it's a lie, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree with Whitney on that. That is one of the reasons. And it's like this. Just like I said, women have needs too. And just like y'all might have something over here with somebody that's really special, y'all might go get that cheap and easy meat too. And sometimes a girl can have a thrill from going out and just hooking up with that dude that she knows he ain't about nothing, but he's going to smack it up, flip it, and rub it down. And he's probably going to be more exciting about it. He's probably going to be more aggressive about getting it, which is also inherently exciting to most women. Like, there's a ton of reasons why the bad guys get it and the good guys don't. Because the good guy asks for a kiss on the cheek. And quite honestly, there's times when a woman doesn't want it.
Okay, Brandy.
No, that's not.
They called you Brandy Broken Records. That's what they called you.
But look,
okay, this is coming from somebody who's called himself a wet hairy bush. So
dude,
is that is? Yeah.
I've asked men. Look, I'm tapping into the men's side of the same question. Men do the same. I've asked like married men or men who have been in committed relationships who have cheated. Why did you do it? I was bored. I wanted something to like. So why even have that if you can go get 6 of these little, 99-cent value meals real quick? Why do it?
And again, I think it just goes back to, I see it as a lie.
Why do you think it's a lie?
Because I think women put on airs and become pretentious with all of the, so she can make the dude she wants to want her, right? To be like, oh, that's a good woman.
That's what she has
But
to
in
do.
reality, she really wants what she has with the bad boy. But the bad boy may not have his shit together, quote unquote, may not have the resources she wants, may not even be the type of guy she wants, to have a child with, right? Or build a family with. So I think she puts on airs, makes this dude jump through unnecessary hoops when she could just give him the ass
they are necessary.
right up front.
They are necessary because apparently
it's a learning experience.
If he has to jump through them to get to it, then
so is the lady persona a lie? 323-965-1600. You guys have been lying for many years. We're going to bring in a real woman. to speak the truth.
The girls are...
Veronica,
Hey.
the author of BlackMastery.com.
Hi, Veronica.
Heavy Science.
Hi.
I want you
Hi,
ladies.
beauties. Hi, beauties.
Hold on, Professor Conway.
Yeah.
I have to instruct the ladies here. I want you guys to take out your pens and pads and take some notes. Veronica, please help
always
us
on
through the
notes.
quagmire
We're
of this
on.
conversation.
Okay. There's a couple of things. First of all, I want to address this issue about why women respond to the bad boys.
Please.
See, he's wild.
We're learning.
And he's usually running a lot more natural masculine energy than the good guy
They're
is.
more
The good guys
fun.
are usually a little bit more repressed.
And I'm trying to learn some...
And so she automatically responds to his firepower that he carries in his genitals, even if she's not willing to admit it.
I just said
So women respond with their bodies. They try to make decisions with their minds and their logic, but really they respond with their bodies. And so if a man is carrying a lot of firepower, she can't help but respond to that. She can't help but get wet. She can't help but be magnetized to that. So that's the first thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Wet it up. I'm sorry.
And most bad boys, why are they bad? That means that they are not accepting the limitations that society says is real. They're wild. And a woman is going to respond to that, just unconsciously, subconsciously. But in terms of most men, I think men know very, very, very little about sexuality. They love to have it, and they love to offer it, but most women aren't that crazy about the sex that men are offering.
Give us a couple of examples of what men think they know, but really don't and should know. Like, what is the one thing a man should know about really pleasing his woman off top, right out the gate?
Well, off the gate, off the top of my head, it's just she's not a microwave. She's a crock pot. And so everything that men know about modern sexuality, where are you actually getting your sexual education from? If it's from porn, then what does porn teach you? It's all about friction, and it's all about how you show up as Superman and you just pound her really good.
Yeah.
None of that has anything to do with the reality of how a woman functions.
Brandy disagrees. Brandy thinks that pussy need to get beat up.
Women need more time. They need more patience. They are a vast universe of feeling and emotion and sensitivity, and most men are missing it because they're so busy with the pump, 5.5 pumps, or whatever that is.
Wow.
And so the way that you know this, I feel so, my heart breaks for what Whitney just said. We have this beautiful young woman who hasn't had an orgasm in a few years. What does that mean? That means that the men that she's engaging with, the men that many women are engaging with, have no idea how to do that.
Wow.
Right? It's kind of criminal to me that many women, it's not just her, find themselves in that condition.
Wow.
It is criminal. That is just an absolute crime.
It's actually worse than that, because most of the men didn't know that they didn't satisfy her because she didn't tell them.
Well, they don't even care.
That's right.
Most men don't even think about it, really.
No,
I've gotten mine.
I beg to differ.
Most men don't.
Most men won't admit it, but they really would like to know they got the job done. And they would like to know they got it done as opposed to thinking they got it done. Because they came back to us and told us, man, I got that.
But you know what's so interesting?
And the truth of the matter is, no, they didn't.
But you know what's so interesting? Veronica outlined the complexity of femininity. And I think sometimes with men, we're looking at the pussy and her and all that comes with her as this biological, emotional Rubik's Cube. And it's kind of like, fuck figuring all of that out. Where's the hole in the back? And then I'm going to insert and bust off, and then she going to have to figure out what she need to figure out.
That's so sad.
I'm just saying, that is a prevailing
thought. The only reason men settle
Yeah.
for that is because they have no idea what she's capable of. In other words, and she has no idea what she's capable of, so she doesn't know of a 2-hour orgasm.
What should she ask for, Veronica? What should she ask for?
Well, so first of all, Well, first
Because
of
if
all,
any woman asks me for a 2-hour
one of the most important things that a man can begin to
orgasm, I'll be like,
practice is presence. Most men are sitting in a fantasy about either some porn star or some chick or his performance. They're in a fantasy. So if he's in a fantasy while he's in the act with her, then he's in his head, and his awareness and his presence is actually not in his body. So if he can begin to meet her with some presence, because where attention goes, energy flows. So if he brings his attention to his fingertips, his attention to the head of his penis, his attention to what he's feeling when he's engaging with her, if he can get out of his head and get in his body, then it's kind of like what Bobby said. It's like, well, we don't really know what's going on with her because she doesn't tell us. If you're present, she doesn't have to tell you.
Exactly.
You'll be able to feel every shiver, every bit of surrender, every bit of fear that may come up, and crying and emotion. You'll be able to sense and experience that if you are in your body and not in your head.
Some of that is age-related. As I sit here and listen to her describe the evolution, when I was in my 20s, I was closer to where Zoe's talking about. None of these other things really, came into my mind. As you get older, you get a little bit more, yeah. But now some guys remain foolish. Others get to a point where they just accept denial. They really do.
Go deeper into that.
And what I mean by that is they keep perpetuating that fraud, that I'm the shit and all of that, when in reality they done hit that threshold where it ain't really going down like that no more. Okay. And then by the time they get on medication, it's a complete fraud. And so the other route is, if you're fairly healthy and you're in your middle age, you're looking for something different anyway. You want to have that experience wherein it's not just that one and done, and you go through a physical evolution where it's all good. Not just the finish line, but the whole process is cool.
Wow. Listen, we're about to take a quick break, but before we do, we want to play a video that really outlines some of the misnomers and misconceptions about the interaction between male and female. We'll be back at 2.2, more on the Vagina Bar Show.
The only thing in our society that bothers me the most is the way that men and women don't get along no more. That's really what's bugging me about it. Men and women just don't get along. Like, I hear women say this all the time. I know a lot of you sisters be like, chivalry is dead. Don't you? Don't y'all feel that way? Like men aren't gentlemen anymore? That's right. Chivalry is dead. And women killed it. There's a fundamental difference in the way we're going to see things. We're not going to see eye to eye on this issue. We're just not. Our tests in life are different. A woman's test in life is material. A man's test in life is a woman. Now, by test, I mean that those are the things that we desire. Men have nice cars. Not because they like nice cars, because they know women like nice cars. That's how it goes. Because men are hunters, and the car is the bait. And the woman comes and says, ooh, nice Porsche. Gotcha, bitch. That's how it is. That's true. Come on now, you go to a woman's house, her house be comfortable as shit. Women love comfortable surroundings, so men get comfortable surroundings. Let me tell you something. If a man could fuck a woman in a cardboard box, he wouldn't buy a house. But that's still not where chivalry got killed. Chivalry got killed by the feminist movement on the magazines that got women going crazy, because women got too much advice about men from other women. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's true. I see this shit in the magazines. I don't read them, but I be seeing the cover. I be in the grocery store, fellas, you look at one of the magazines, like, what is this? And they say on the cover, 100 Ways to Please Your Man by some lady. Get out of here, man. Come on. Ain't 100 ways. That list is 4 things long. Just suck his dick, play with his balls, and then fix him a sandwich and don't talk so much. And everything's gonna happen. And then the magazines trick the women. The magazines start picking at your self-esteem. Every page you turn, you start feeling fatter and uglier, and you feel like your clothes aren't good enough. And the magazines, that's what happens. Now look what happens. And then you forget how beautiful you are, and we all suffer. If pussy was a stock, it would be plummeting right now because you flooded the market with it. You're giving it away too easy. I'm just being truthful. I'm just talking. It would plummet. We'd be watching news today. Pussy plummeted again on the NASDAQ. Gold is up 10 points.
Maybe comedians like Dave Chappelle, Corey Holcomb, Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
Maybe these guys are more like sages and prophets. Maybe in order for you to digest some type of knowledge or insight, it's got to be funny.
Or it would crush people.
Or it would crush people, right? So the brother said something that was very profound. He said a lot of profound things. And I think the tradition of how women are supposed to be puts a price on their pussy, on their service to men. The tradition says, if he can take care of you, this is how you take care of him. 323-965-1600. Now, in the woman taking care of him, how many women do you know have adopted the positionality of taking care of the family, of him, of his needs, of their needs, to the point where they wake up one day and they find that they're empty because they haven't been serviced in the way that they've serviced others? 323-965-1600. Yeah, speak to that, Veronica.
To that?
Yeah.
It's come up before, this whole, Madonna versus whore, wifey versus ratchet conversation. Here's the real deal. See, we've been trained that one or the other is better. And that's a way of creating guilt and shame that's been institutionalized, like what Dave Chappelle just said, in terms of the magazines, the church. It's been this schism, right, about Madonna, whore, ratchet versus wifey. But here's the truth of how a whole woman works. If the part of her that is sexual and alive, I'm not going to call it ratchet, but the part of her that is actually realized sexually, if she's getting filled up and met, and then she becomes an overflow. In other words, she can give out of her fullness. Mm-hmm. And then see, what happens is that wifey gets so drained because there's this perspective of her that she's not sexual. So she's not really getting filled up with the life force and the energy that she needs. So she becomes very depleted. And so she can't really give because she's an empty vessel. But if a woman was whole and she could embrace both sides of herself, she would be fully realized and fully met. In other words, she'd be giving from her overflow. She'd be giving from her sexual vibrance. But because we've had them split in our consciousness by these institutions, there's we get confused like there's one or the other. Women are both.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I want to thank you, Veronica, for saying that. No,
at first you was hating.
No, I'm never hating. I'm only speaking my truth. Now, but I want to thank Veronica for saying that, because I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have with men today. And this goes back to the question that you asked earlier. Are we, lying by pretending to be this way with one guy? Right. In order to keep him as a man, but it's almost like we have to, because men.
But at first you said you wasn't lying. Now you're saying you had to. What the fuck is going on?
Listen, slow down.
This is a Travis Shamockery.
Go ahead. Slow down now. I have mine's gonna be on your ass again.
What?
I have an aunt that told me that you were getting better.
Okay, tell your aunt I love it.
you do, I think when women want to be with somebody that they see themselves spending time with, having a future with, building a life with, having children, marrying, they may oftentimes pull back on their sexuality or pull back on that part of themselves because they don't want to be perceived by that man,
which
as
is
a
in
hoe.
fact lying.
But that is the thing. But men have been saying for years that you want us to lie to you.
Right?
You do want us to lie.
Not men.
Society.
Not
okay?
men.
You do want
Get her, Bobby.
You do want us to lie to you because men will go out and call women all outside of their name and talk all kinds of junk about them, and then they will wife up the good girl, but then they'll go out and have fun
That's
with
not
a
a
woman
man.
who's sexually free. I mean, societally, in large, that's kind
That's
of the
a
way
male.
it's been
That's a
operating.
difference.
When, like Veronica said, there's two sides. Like, I mean,
No, there's two different.
Look,
We need to be able to be both.
Sophisticated.
A lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets is a term
Okay, so-
for a reason.
So let's do this.
Look, me and
Let's
my
do
friends
this.
have a term: sophisticated ratchet. Like
we call ours Clatchet.
See,
Classy and ratchet. Hello, I got them both.
Wow.
Look at his
Okay.
eyes.
And I'm proud of it.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
This
Like,
fucking ship
No,
has sank.
it goes back to what you were saying, Veronica, because I think that it's very important that we realize that women need to be able to be caregiver, the nurturer, the teacher, the mother, the wife. But at the same time, I don't want to give up my sexuality, my enjoyment, my connection, which I think is a very important part of myself. I will say that about sex. And I flat out refuse to let that go in a relationship. And I think that men need to realize that they can't put those type of restrictions.
Wrap it up.
You know what, Zoe?
I'm just playing.
I'm gonna just go ahead and go.
I'm just
How
playing.
about that?
No, don't leave.
Okay.
Hey, come on now.
right.
Damn. Anyway.
So,
yes.
just for
I'm gonna pull
some
out
housekeeping.
my ratchet.
Clutch it.
The difference between a man and a male for this discussion, for me, a male is who she's talking about. He wants to just get it, and he don't want no whole lot of complexities, and he'll settle for a lie. He don't even care if you're lying, telling the truth.
Right.
But a man looks at it totally different because he gonna ask for what he want. I don't want no woman repressing herself because she thinks I don't want her to be who she is, because that's what I'm really looking for, is that person, because there's no limit in that.
Right.
That's my expectation. Whatever you holding out on, what for?
Right.
What we waiting on?
Right. You know what's interesting
Well,
about
wait,
what
no.
you guys are all saying, and to go back to the point that Veronica made as well, I'm big on words, right? If you look up the word queen, and I don't mean the definition, most niggas can't read a 7th grade newspaper, let alone, a dictionary, and then they don't know the difference between, definitions of a word and then the word's origin, the difference between connotation and denotation. The denotation is originally what a word meant, and the connotation is what this particular society defines the word to mean. So, dope, it means the music is good. But, it has another meaning as well. The connotation is different than the denotation. So, if you look up the word queen from its etymological root, you know what that shit means?
No.
Whore. So there is some validity in what you're saying. But my question is, as long as women are hiding and playing the lady role, when you're really a whore...
No, you know, Zoe.
And I'm saying,
you're doing exactly
I'm not
what
saying
you're
negatively.
excluding
Let me
it.
finish.
Right.
Let me finish. I'm not saying negatively, because I believe that women repress themselves in order to be accepted by a lesser type of man, which is Bobby's point. A real man wants that good yoni you got, and he wants you to throw it on him with veracity.
Don't surprise me with it.
Don't.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Don't come
surprise me with it.
across like Minnie Mouse and then get in the house and be on some porn shit, but then I'm gonna be like, the fuck?
He kind of took a
She'll be like, no, I've never done that before. No, I can't possibly do that. And then your asshole is a tunnel. Like, what happened? I'm just saying, be real.
Oh, my
Is it possible for women to be in a space of authenticity and realism today, especially with all the advancements that you guys are enjoying?
Absolutely.
Well, then do it.
No.
You can't even talk about an orgasm on the radio show.
Just talk to you about my orgasms and when I had them. Unless you're giving them to me, you don't need to know about them.
Even.
Wow.
Okay,
I should make an appointment. Yes, Brandy. Pencil me
Let
in.
me pull out the patient book list.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, that's good stuff.
I had to say something, but I totally
So listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take another break. We have some more wisdom from the sages. Check this video out. We'll be back at 2.2. Love it.
Fellas, if you got money, you can get women, okay? Now, if you got a lot of money, you can get some of the finest women in the world. So with that being said, I want you to know the way your woman look represents your income. So I'm saying you ain't got to explain nothing to me. I see this recession that hit a couple of y'all upside the head. For real though, anyway. I talk about the truth while I'm on stage. Ladies, let me tell you something. Your man is with you because at this point in his life, you the best he can do right now. I know it hurt, I know, but I'm telling you, if he find a way to get rich, your pink slip is on the way. Hey, your man get rich, I'm telling you, you cough the wrong way, it's over. Hey, I can't do this no more. I got paper now. I ain't got to do it. I'm here to help all the side of the story. That's why I'm here for you. Ladies, stop breaking up with your man for dumb reasons. A lot of women do stupid stuff like leave a man for cheating. That is the dumbest reason ever to break up with a man. What, you gonna leave him and go get another man? Now it's a stranger cheating on you. Listen, everybody is gonna cheat on you. Look at you. Wouldn't you cheat on you? I tell you, these new domestic abuse laws are making it very difficult to discipline your woman. The police are not playing. When they knock on your door, fellas, they will take you to jail for something small like a knot on her head or something. But a lot of y'all don't know. Did you know if your girl got an injury, fellas, you going to jail. But if you got an injury, she going to jail also. So you know how to play that. My girl was bothering me the other day. I was like, girl, you better leave me alone before I beat both of our asses. How many of y'all fellas out there still sleep with your baby mama when you go visit your kids? I don't spend no time with my kids, really. I go, hey, little man, let me see you dance. Give me 5. I've been going here with your mama for a little while. Come out sweaty. Woo, let me see you dance again, little man. Give me 5. I'll catch you next time I come through, man. I don't know you like that. Well, that marriage is a hard hustle. Hard hustle. Takes all the honesty out of the relationships. I look at the audience right now, and I see you fellas. I see the misery in your eyes. She found out about the comedy festival, you know, that's why you got her with you. I see it. Don't you just want to look at her and just be honest and be like, what are you bringing to the relationship besides some other dude kids? A lot of women are like, you know, I don't know. What am I bringing to the relationship? Anyway, I said some mean things that were necessary tonight. Let me tell you something about comedy. Comedy is a way to release the truth, and I'm going to be honest with you while I'm on stage. Listen, ladies, I want you to know, and y'all, most of y'all already know this. Ladies, after you have sex with a man, your bargaining chips are gone. No, you need to know this. Your bargaining chips are out the door, so stop asking stupid questions after we have sex with you. I had sex with this one girl. She was like, where you been? I was like, working on the next girl I ain't slept with.
Oh, God. Corey is crazy, but he said something that was very poignant.
What?
How many men out there are done after they get it, after they hit it? How many men are done? And if a man can be done with you after he's had his way with you, what does that say about you? 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. We're here with Bobby Glanton-Smith, of course, Brandy McGee, Veronica Conway, and the homegirl, Whitney Tabor. I'm going to say it in another way. Kumo D said this, and I thought it was very poignant. He said, just because a man will fuck you, that doesn't automatically mean he wants to fuck with you. Right?
Can I?
Bobby, speak on it.
I got some good news for the ladies and the men. If it's really what it can be the first time, your expectation is it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an innate kind of thing. I mean, it's hard to describe, but I'll do my best. If you get with a woman and what you get is in some way just different, and you can tell by the way it went down that it's going to get better, then you're not going to run away from that because it's too hard to get that experience. And I guess being at my age, I can speak to that because when you're younger, totally different vibe, totally different expectation. But when you get older, you have frames of reference. You're like, this might work long term because it just felt different. And we'll get better at this. And the more we practice, the more I'm going to want to do this. And that's kind of where I'm at. And that's, to me, good news for the sisters or women in general, is that if you release that thing and not make me feel like you manipulating that thing, then we got a shot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
At a return engagement.
And a return engagement. Whitney Tabor?
I agree with Bobby.
You too young. You don't even know. You're still trying to learn how to work your little thing.
Anyway, don't worry about my thing. I'm saying
I'm worried about it now.
Don't be worried about it. No, but the thing is, that's how I think. When I'm with somebody, I'm like, okay, that was cool. Maybe he'll get better. I don't know. Maybe he was nervous. Okay, well.
Maybe he was nervous.
Let's try again. But I feel like
have a snack.
Have a snack, do something. I don't know what you're doing. Drink this water over here.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Really though, but I don't know if it's the younger generation. These dudes, first off, I think it's the porn industry that makes these dudes, young dudes, think that they are whoever that porn guy is. They're trying to be. They come in and just, and you're like, well, cool, well. I wasted about 10 minutes. I got to do. Bye. You know what I'm saying?
Whitney.
That's how it is. I don't do it often because that has been my experience the past couple of years. So I'm like, cool. I'm just gonna get 4 jobs and I'm out.
Hysterical. Brandy, your thoughts?
Wait,
I got some batteries. I'm just gonna,
I'm gonna finish myself off.
I was just gonna say to you when you said it's been a couple of years. I was about to say, well, you need to learn how to handle that yourself, just in case of a drought.
Girl, we've been
in case of a drought. What did you said you wanted me to weigh in on this? I don't know. Which part?
Corey said a lot of stuff that I thought was,
I don't listen to Corey no more.
Why?
I can't.
But I'm just saying, is there anything in what the brother's stand-up, his set was, that was just not true?
I mean, I think that Corey takes some of the challenges, some of the difficult things in relationships, and he kind of exaggerates them and makes a lot of fun of them. You know what I mean? Because you just can't say that the only thing a woman is bringing to the table is somebody else's kids. That may be true in some people's case, but no, not everybody. But I do believe it's right. Some guys just want to hit it and quit it, and after that, then they don't want to talk to you anymore.
But what does that say about the woman? Are you fucking empty if a man can hit it and quit it?
Probably so.
And I think that's thank you. That was shit. I was going to move on.
Didn't know what
that was the truth.
You were asking.
Fuck. That was the truth. No. Okay, we got a caller. I need. Damn. Great. Brandy told the truth. We got a caller on the line. Caller.
All day.
Talk to us about this most riveting conversation.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Y'all good?
Yeah, we're good, brother.
All right. I got one quick point. I think if you have bad sex with somebody, I think both parties are to blame. If the girl wasn't good, maybe it's her. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you have a bad situation with somebody, they might go to somebody else and have a good situation. So you can't just blame the other person. Sometimes it's a mutual thing. If their attraction ain't there, their attraction ain't there.
Good point. Thank you, caller. We appreciate it, man. That was a great call. Veronica Conway, I'm going to go back to her. If a woman is pursuing a stereotypical, traditional concept of what it means to be a lady with an intimate relationship and or marriage, is she not preventing herself from fully reaching an orgasmic state with her partner because she's living a lie? Veronica?
If she's not there, I'll take the question.
I know you will. That's why you're going to hold on.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes, did you hear the question?
Oh, yeah, I did hear the question. I am kind of stunned by this impoverished state of sexuality in our community. It is impoverished. And if you think, and so if I want to give a little context, Joe, and then I want to answer your question. So sexuality is actually the divine temple. It's actually the staircase to God. It's what God gave us to get everything born. It's a creative act that gets everything born. So if we are in right resonance, if we are lined up with it correctly, women don't have to trick their pussies. I mean, a man and a woman together can actually cause things into existence through the sexual act. But we are in such a state of lack and deficit, and we're so impoverished. So yes, if a woman is responding to guilt and shame because that's what's been conditioned into her, and she thinks she's got to play the good girl to get and keep a man, then yeah, she's going to approach it in a completely faulty way because she's not. In other words, a lot of times when you go in and you begin to deconstruct a woman around her sexuality, for her to be in that 2-hour orgasm, she has to square off and face all the places where people told her that her sexuality and her love were not connected, where they told her to be ashamed of herself. A woman off, and a man's job is to carry enough masculine attention, presence, and power to assist her in that process, and nothing else.
In what way?
If men are bringing this microwave sex to the table, then they're just as responsible for the impoverished condition that exists in our community around sex. And so, brothers, if you really are all of that, then you're going to have to step up your game and your presence. And instead of dissing women, start embracing and loving and carry enough power to let her dismantle some of the bullshit that's been fed into you from engaging with you and other men and the dominant culture.
Wow. Bobby?
Yeah, I have a different way of saying basically the same thing. We need to be honest, man, when you go into a relationship with somebody. And if you find that woman attractive, don't try to use that as a weapon against her. Those stereotypes that she's talking about. Because sometimes men do play to that insecurity in a woman. Now, women are much better at that than we are. But in our society, we don't have to be as vocal about that. We can just, we can look at other women, we with this girl and she gets caught up in that and she'll bring that to the bedroom and you're like, who was that girl? It's like,
right.
And we could have avoided that by just paying attention before we got to the bedroom, and everything falls apart if you bring in baggage.
Panel, everybody on the panel. Do you think that a fully sexually realized woman intimidates most men?
Yes.
How so? In what ways? Everybody give me examples of that, please.
Most men?
Maybe. Because most men aren't alpha. So let's understand
that's why I clarified most men. I think that a woman who isn't even fully sexually realized can be intimidating to men because, men have been, if women are, kind of conditioned to hold back and keep it in a certain place until the right one comes along, men are conditioned to go out and get it. But that leads to men having to deal with, constantly being rejected by women, having to figure out how to talk to women to get the right one. So I find that a lot of men are just intimidated by a very attractive woman just off the rip.
Mm-hmm. Even though most attractive women, in my experience, the pussy has been average. I'm just saying from my experience.
I've heard that before. I've heard
it's just been all right. Like,
why? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe she thinks she don't have to practice her Kegel muscles.
Attractive doesn't equal realized.
Yeah.
Right.
No, beautiful does not equal realized. And a fully activated, fully in her power, orgasmic, sexual woman, a man is not intimidated by her. He is so magnetized to her, he doesn't know what to do. The problem is that we see so few examples walking around amongst us. They're like unicorns. We don't see them we see beautiful women and attractive women in Hollywood and in the media, but we don't see realized women. No, so I don't even think we know what it looks like.
I was just about to say, how does that look? Because it's like
she skips when she walks.
You're not necessarily walking around in that capacity all day. Your whole day, even though your whole day isn't about your sexuality, and I know that does carry. It's just like Bobby said, sometimes you do skip when you walk in.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, what does that look like, Veronica?
Well, a woman that is really vibrating and orgasmic. Now, men, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You've been around women that
Oh, yeah, they ooze it.
Are orgasmic and are alive. You've seen it. You can smell it about a mile away. Okay?
You can smell it.
And you know when she's shut down.
You can smell it a mile away. It ain't good. It's all bad. This shit doesn't.
Or you can feel it, or you can sense it.
Right.
So
to the jungle.
She's free. She's available. She's receptive. She's not trying to control and manipulate a lot of things. She's just an emanation. She's a vibration, and men recognize it.
Orgasmic.
They recognize it.
Somebody came with the perfect term. Orgasmic.
No,
women, embrace your inner whore. We have to change the connotation of the word.
Well, we got to change the word because that word is just like nigga.
Yeah.
Most time when you hear it, it's a dispute as to what it means.
Because right now it creates conflict because of the stereotype of what we say whore means. So we'll say, how many guys you've heard say, I want my woman to be a hoe at home, but a lady in the streets, a freak in the bed, a freak in the sheets, but a lady out in the streets. And, at the end of the day, when we talk about being a lady or when we get involved in relationships, when we talk about being a real man, for most of us, 90% of us, even higher, maybe even higher than that, we're talking about a stereotype. And that stereotype to me, and you unwind and allow yourself to be your real self, that means most of the time you out in the world, you're not your real self. You're a presentation, a projection.
That's right.
I want to...
But wait, hold it, write it down. We have a caller, and we got to take a quick break. Caller, stay on the line. I'm coming back to you after this break. Vagina Bar.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another installment of Truth Paste with James Hanna. How y'all doing? Let's see. Something going on Truth Paste where I got, just as always, ever since I started it, always some woman that wants to come on and brag about having bomb-ass pussy. It's just something, I don't know what that is, why you feel the need to come on a public social network and brag in front of people who don't know you that you have bomb-ass pussy. This needs to be said, ladies. Bomb-ass pussy is like class. If you say it, you ain't got it, okay? Your life is supposed to reflect that you have bomb-ass pussy. It's things supposed to be going on. First of all, this needs to be said, bomb-ass pussy always has a man, okay? If you ain't had a man since the 10th grade and you're 39 years old, no, your pussy's not the bomb, okay? And if some dudes will tell women they have bomb-ass pussies, and y'all believe that, don't believe every dude, okay? It's what he does, not what he says, okay? Because what he says, it may be some mitigating circumstances of him telling you that your pussy is the bomb, okay? Like, the dude could be living with you and don't want to move out and move back in with his mama, so he's going to tell you that shit just to stay in your house, okay? Dude might tell you that because, you know, he sells drugs and he don't want you to testify against him one day, so that's why he might tell you that you got some bomb-ass pussy. But bomb-ass pussy, again, always has a man, okay? And I mean a dude that is out there, okay? And not just a man, okay, ladies, if you have bomb-ass pussy, this is the thing about your man. If you ain't doing nothing to change his life, your pussy ain't shit, okay? If you meet a dude and he's a beat cop, and then 5 years later, he's still a beat cop, your pussy ain't nothing. See, bomb-ass pussy works like this. It either distracts or inspires a man to do something. His life, bomb-ass pussy is life-changing. Ask Erykah Badu. Because everybody she fuck ain't never the same after they fuck her, okay? That's bomb pussy, okay? If your man was a beat cop and then 5 years later he's the chief of police, you got some bomb pussy, okay? Or 5 years later he's going down on a bribery charge because he was trying to buy you a nice diamond necklace or something. Yeah, that's what bomb pussy does. It motivates men to do right or wrong, okay? That's what it does. If your man is still the same nigga 5 years later, your pussy ain't nothing, okay? And I don't mean, and it ain't nothing wrong with having pussy. Okay, let me make that clear. All the women who know, you know, it's the problem is the women who brag about it. It's like, no, y'all got ladies, y'all need to start policing these bitches because they're fucking up the ecology for everybody. Okay. Another sign is if your bills are being paid by a dude, you got some bomb ass pussy. Okay. I don't care if you make $90,000 a year, that nigga makes $27,000 a year. He gonna try to pay a couple of bills just to keep you around. Okay, that's how men work. Okay, if your hair and nails ain't never done, but you keep fucking this same dude, you got some horrible pussy. I'm sorry. Dude's gonna make sure that your hair, nails, and even your cell phone bill is paid. Okay, because he ain't gonna have you without a cell phone, so he can't keep in touch with his pussy. Okay, if your phone is always getting cut off, but somehow this nigga is emailing you booty calls, yeah, your pussy is nothing. Okay, and this needs to be said. Like I said, it's something going on where it's just these women. Y'all are what? I just wonder, when did pussy need advertising? Big Mama didn't advertise pussy. Hey, you didn't. And you got here, okay? Big Mama was married 50 years. That's how you know she had some bomb-ass pussy, but she didn't advertise it. It's the fact that your grandfather came home every day that let the world know that you got some bomb-ass pussy, okay? If your man works around the corner and this nigga takes 2 hours to get home, your pussy ain't shit, okay? And that's all I got to say about that. I mean, really, it's just, y'all got to stop with this madness, this I got the bomb pussy, the snapper, and all that stuff. It's just let a man find out you got the bomb pussy and the snapper on his own. All right. Anyway, that's it for Truth Paste. That needed to be said. And if you like what I had to say,
man, rest in peace to my brother, James Hanna. I really appreciated that clip, man. I miss that brother, man. He used to call me all the time. We talk about topics and, you know, man, we need to get this show. I'm calling in. And, you know, I just, man, I know he's still around energetically, spiritually, but he brought up some great stuff. And he was in a comedic context, but in a spiritual context, I believe mother, material, matter, manifest. All of these words are connected, etymologically speaking. With that said, if you're not building and creating something with your men, and women have the power to do that simply by believing in a man, simply by investing emotionally, spiritually, she makes him more of what he already is, right? This is a more esoteric definition of what behind the statement of behind every good man there's a good woman, or behind every great man, there's a great woman, because there's something about her belief and her energy and her passion and what she's putting into him that helps him reach or hit the mark, or, you know, kind of aims him at the mark. That's what good, powerful women do. And if a woman, we know the stats out there, most women are not having deep, for real, cervical, you know, orgasms, like busting off, really getting it. And I think if they're not getting it, they're not at their most powerful creative space. Veronica?
Yeah. Yes, that is absolutely true. To kind of what James said, I mean, if you got a bomb-ass pussy, you'll have a harem of alpha males lined up around the corner. That's the truth. Because that's the truth.
It is.
Right.
That's Betty Joe Johnson she's talking about.
But we've so lost sight of what that is, and it's as you said, Joe. This is spiritual, because we were given the act of sexuality, yin and yang, as a conduit, as a way to feed each other. In other words, if we as men and women were correctly using sexuality for its true intent, Veronica, and its true purpose,
Veronica, you just said something that just sparked something in me. Are you telling me that the lady all of these women are aspiring to be is the social construct, but the goddess/queen is the spiritual aspect? And what happens, in my opinion, is that most women are in pursuit of the lady, quote unquote, at the expense of the spiritual. So there's an imbalance in the development of both of those, right? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Absolutely, because if we knew what we were capable of as queens and as godmen, just given the sexual act, if we knew how to use that to create dynasties and nations, then we would be uncontrollable.
Wow!
And so these institutions have given us the energy of guilt and shame to stop us, and division to stop us from realizing that. Because if we were to actually be in yin and yang, and we were to be activating each other spiritually and sexually, and climbing that sexual staircase to God, we wouldn't need all of these industries and institutions that have popped up that we support with our fear. We support the church and the wedding industrial complex and all that stuff with our fear. We feed it with our fear. But if we were to throw all of that off and stop tolerating that substandard, I mean, wifey, really? That's what we aspire to? No. No. We're meant to, we are a creative magnetic force. But we have to throw off all the guilt and all the shame, and our brothers need to support us in doing that.
Wow. Brandy doesn't seem to agree.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
I know. I just like to say that.
I know. If you have everybody on here thinking that I'm an angry, contrary bitch, I'm actually really mellow.
You are a contrarian here.
No, I
okay, tell us what your contrarian point is.
No, what I was going to say to you in regard to what we were speaking about before the break. You're talking about the lady in the streets freaking the sheets, that sort of thing. And I think that I agree with what you say about one of them being more of a social construct and the other one being spiritual, but I don't think that one has to negate the other one.
Neither do I. I think they have to work in concert.
Right, yeah. I think that just because you may aspire to be a lady, I don't think that necessarily means that you absolutely must sacrifice, your sexuality, your inner goddess.
Let me ask you, how do you check in with your spirit? with your intuition, with the goddess queen side of you? That's for you too, Whitney.
You mean in regards to...
Just period. Like, what is your process that keeps you tethered to the knowledge and the consciousness and awareness that you're more spirit than you are a social being running around trying to get the next dude?
Well, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the social aspect of it all, but I think at some point, for me personally, I just have to, especially when things get a little bit crazy and a little bit, I have to remove myself from the energy of everything else is around. I'm very sensitive to energies that are around me, and if I'm in a place where there's all these crazy energies, a lot of times I have to separate myself from that because I need to do that in order to be able to hear my own energy, to connect with my own energy. And I spend a lot of time alone, kind of reflecting on where I am, some possibly can. And it takes an effort. And that usually happens the most when I kind of isolate and really sort of get inside of myself and what's going on with me.
Whitney?
Same thing. I basically turn off my cell phone. Music. Music is my, everything, so I just don't even talk to anybody. Like,
what you listen to, the Go-Go's or
the Go-Go's,
something like that? See, she don't even know what that is. Sorry. What are you listening to?
I mean, just whatever I'm feeling at the time. Sometimes it's some Sade, maybe it's some 2 Chainz. I really don't know. It depends on what
music will do it to you.
I'm saying, music is my, zen kind of a thing, and I'll just stop talking to everybody, and that's it.
I would say that if a woman were having 2-hour orgasms on the regular, she would know that she was a goddess. There would be no question. Because it literally, an orgasm is literally, it's the Kundalini energy. It literally is the act of bringing all of that life force up through her, up from her pelvis to her crown and out into the universe. And so if she is constantly in the act of palpating that and raising that up and allowing that to be free, then she knows she's a goddess. There's no question anymore.
Right.
Do you think women in our society have lost sight, have lost the connection? In what way can a woman make it back to a point of authenticity, to the point where, for instance, you don't have to think I'm a lady. I don't see Erykah Badu campaigning like I'm a lady, right? I just think she magnetizes people into her space. Well, how is it that women have lost that ability? Could you go into that a little?
I would just say it's fear and shame. You've had a brother on this show before, Zoe, a good friend of mine, Nityama.
Yeah.
And that's, Nityama.com. And he does, he goes where angels dare not tread, in the sense that he goes in and works with women and helps break them down. And see, here's the thing. I mean, we can talk about orgasms, but we have to actually talk about what prevents women from being orgasmic.
And what is that?
A lot of times when women there's an actual life force, there's an actual spirit, there's actually your soul that begins to arise, right? But it's all covered up with all of this fear and shame and guilt and doubt and should and conditioning and programming, the beauty industrial complex. It's all covered up with all of that gunk, that lead encasement around the heart that I spoke about a few shows back. And so a lot of times a woman has to climb through all of that so that she can be orgasmic. In other words, she has to relive that fear and shame and guilt that actually has to kind of come up in her awareness again and burn it off, and it has to get burned off in the act of lovemaking. And so the thing that stops her from being orgasmic and walking around as like a goddess is all of the things that have been programmed and deposited into her from men, from the dominant culture, from advertising and the media. She's got to go back and begin to square off with all that pain. And so women have to face the pain because it's their pain that stands in the way from them and their goddess nature and their orgasm.
So that goes back to my point earlier about the lady construct being a lie. And what happens is we get all of these demands. Okay? We talked before on many different shows about the difference between demanding and commanding. Right? When you're demanding, that means you don't have it. Black people in America demand justice. We demand rights. We demand equality, right? That's because we don't have it. When you're in a position of demanding, typically you don't have, right? So when you're commanding, you're not asking. It's just coming because you're magnetizing it from an internal space. So follow where I'm going here. If women are demanding chivalry, right? That means they're not commanding it from an internal space, right? If it becomes a social construct, or this is how you're supposed to behave, it's just a behavioral ritual that doesn't really have any meaning to the man who's doing it, other than by doing it, I impress her to get the ass. And then...
Right, because a woman who's frigid can't command reverence. A woman who is frigid cannot command reverence, which is what a man will be if she's commanding.
A woman who is frigid cannot command reverence. And now reverence is related to the word revere and reverend and respect. All of these share the same root. So a woman who is frigid in a way can't get the respect of a man. That's pretty heavy. And this is why the Vagina Bar is so just getting by with what you got. Just like Corey said, you just want to fucking win right now. Wait till I get some bread. I'm up out of here. Right? I think that's heavy, man. 323-965-1600, ladies.
I agree. Everything Veronica said. The past 2 years,
You're going to have to disagree with something.
Look, not with Veronica. Veronica's on point. You guys, maybe some of the stuff y'all are saying ain't going to be a
some of the shit you talking about.
You know what I'm saying? But no, like, for the past 2 years, I have been single on purpose because I'm trying to find myself, because I went through a lot of stuff. I'm trying to, rebuild myself before I open up to that, I guess, man, but maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. But I'm not going around sleeping with a bunch of people because it's not fulfilling. You know what I'm saying?
It's not fulfilling. Go deeper.
It doesn't feel good. Like it's doing nothing for me.
How often do women just fuck somebody because that real nature on the spirit side says, I just need good dickin', and then after you get it, you get ridiculed by that inner critic that's in alignment with society's rules. And then you have this bad feeling later. Like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. How is he going to look at me? How is he going to view me? How often does that happen for most women? 323-965-1600. We got a caller on the line. Caller, holla at me.
Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to the show, and I understand majority of all your viewpoints. And I just feel like that's an aspect of what a woman will put up with, to some extent, how a man will treat her. But at the same time, I feel like for me individually, I feel like I'm a go-getter. I work hard. I'm educated. I look good. But sometimes I attract the wrong guy. But I feel like you'll give a person an opportunity. Doesn't mean that because they don't choose to respect you, doesn't mean that's a reflection of you. That's something going on with them because they don't respect themselves.
So one second.
And I deal with it.
1 second, young lady. Young lady, what's your name?
Roxanne.
Roxanne. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
D.C. Chocolate City. What's happening? All right. So this is what we gonna do, Roxanne. I'm going to have Veronica coach you right now, live on the air. And all she's going to do is ask you a couple of questions about your beliefs and how you get down and how you view relationships. We're going to see why you're attracting the wrong dude. Veronica!
Roxanne, how are you? Hi, Roxanne. How are you today? Roxanne?
I think...
Oh, Jesus. So you got her on pause. So this is what we have to do. This is what has to happen. Roxanne, hold on, because she can still hear us. Roxanne, hold on. So
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Veronica, but this is what we got to do. This is Roscoe's Media Center, so we ain't got it all together just yet. Chris has to go back and forth. My engineer has to go back and forth because he can't put you guys on at the same time. So, Veronica, if you have questions to ask her, ask Roxanne, and then we'll go back to Roxanne, and Roxanne will answer, and we'll do that back and forth. Go.
Okay, great. Hi, Roxanne. So thank you for allowing this today, and I want you to know that it's all good, it's all safe. There's nothing, it's not painful. So, what is it, like, what's the one thing that you want to experience around relationship that you have not been experiencing? If you could wave a realistic magic wand around men, what would you want?
That's a difficult question to ask. I would say it's several things. I'm definitely looking for someone who has that spiritual foundation that you guys were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. And I guess to bring to the table to actually really getting to know someone. And like you said, not to be, I guess, influenced by what they see through the media. And I guess it comes with a level of maturity as a person.
So you want a mature man with a strong spiritual foundation. And what's been in the way of that? If you were going to get radically honest right now.
I don't think I'm in the way of that. I just feel like you meet people and everyone comes from different walks of life. So.
Okay.
Go ahead, Veronica.
Well, I'm gonna suggest something, and you can kind of try this on and see if it fits. Just off the top of my head, there's something about boundaries that's missing. In other words, very often we will settle and we will tolerate. See, boundaries are a way of saying no. That to know what's not good for us, to know what's saying no to what's not good for us, as a way of protecting what is most precious, right? A pregnant woman has a stomach to protect her baby because it's the most precious. So there's a boundary there. So when we have things, because somewhere along the way we said yes to something that we should have said no to. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think that could be possibly true. But I also feel like, for me, my personal experience, I feel like when someone kind of just shows me something that I don't agree with, or it just rubs me the wrong way, or it goes against my beliefs, I'm patient. I will try to get to know the person a little bit more. But then after a while, I'm not going to stick around. I'm going to move on. So I don't feel like I'm one of those women. I'm just going to tolerate, whatever.
Okay. So if you're not tolerating whatever, then how do the men that are mistreating you get into your life?
So I feel like men are smart. They know what they're dealing with before you even open your mouth, like you guys were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you were talking about like an alpha male, and sometimes if he's not that, he can't handle a woman who's doing something for herself, who doesn't, act like a whore, or if she doesn't, do anything that demeans herself. A lot of times that men will, I guess, who aren't confident, they don't know how to handle a woman like that.
And so what you're saying is that you're meeting men that are not mature, that don't have a strong spiritual foundation, and that aren't confident. And so somewhere along the line, you either need to upgrade or raise your standards. And it all, wherever we go, there we are, right? And so you're the common denominator in the scenarios that exist in your life. So it's a little bit tricky, and we may need a little bit more time. But there's something that you're believing, that you're tolerating, and I keep saying like substandard, like not. There's a standard that you're not allowing yourself to fully realize. So it feels like there's something that needs to be upgraded.
So this is what we're going to do right here. Veronica, can you give Roxanne your email address?
Sure.
And then...
Sure, you can email me, Roxanne, and we can complete this session, veronica@veronicaconway.com.
And then maybe you can walk her through some of the hypnotic techniques and visualization techniques that we can't do here on the radio that may help her come in contact with the unconscious answers she can't produce right here, right now. Roxanne, are you down with that?
That's awesome.
email again?
It's Veronica at veronicaconway.com. And thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. I like that. That's what the purpose of the show is about. There's a Vagina Bar, and I think the Vagina Bar is born out of social necessity. She talked about dating an idea. I always tell women, don't date your ideas, especially if they haven't been challenged and vetted out. Most people's that's the fantasy. The fantasy is a concept. The fantasy is an idea. And if the fantasy hasn't been vetted out or challenged and you go date it, all men have to do, because women value behavior over anything else. So what is a man's job? I'm going to figure out what you believe. And then I'm going to mold my behavior to your belief. And because you only care about the bottom line behavior, receiving it, so what happens when you receive a behavior that's in alignment with a belief? That's called behavioral confirmation. See, that's how men are supposed to behave. That's a good man. He opened the door. He pulled out the chair. He grabbed the bill. Those behaviors are in alignment with my beliefs. Confirmation that he's good. The only weakness to that is behaviors speak louder than words, but they don't speak louder than intent. I can intend to do everything in alignment with your belief until I get the pussy. And then once I get the pussy, you go, well, who are you now? I got the pussy, and then you're not connected to your spirit. So there's really no anchor that keeps me here, that makes me want to stay. Bobby?
One of the brothers I feature in my book by the name of Harry Pickens told me something that I think is applicable to this conversation just went down. That which you seek purely means 100 in your heart is also seeking you.
Rumi, yeah.
And it's unavoidable, it's unassailable, it's irrefutable. And as it applies to this conversation, when the sister says she's attracting brothers that ain't about it or whatever, then you got to ask yourself, what am I emitting?
Yes.
Am I sending out that real signal? Because whatever you give out, that's what you're going to ultimately get back.
The lady template is a lie. You attract what you are. Veronica said something on this show a couple weeks back when she says, here's a litmus test.
Wounding magnetized to us that which reflects our wounding.
Wow.
So if we, for example, have never been fully validated, or we want security, right? Because we had an insecure childhood, and that sits in our cellular memory as wounding, then we'll continue to draw to us a wounded state or a wounded situation until we go in and heal it. And that, by the way, is the purpose of sex. That, by the way, is the purpose of personal transformation, is to go in and heal that wounding. But we're going to keep getting the same thing as long as the wound is unreconciled.
And that's a great point. And Veronica, you said a couple weeks back on the show, you said a litmus test is when a man has sex with a woman, see how she changes over the next 72 hours, and how she behaves then is a reflection of his consciousness. So if she gets clingy, that's because he's clingy. If she gets, tripped out and whatever's going on in her, it's a reflection of the dude she just had sex with. That people don't understand. Sex is spirit. Sex is magic. They don't understand that. Listen, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to wrap up this show. This shit is crazy. We'll be back at 2.2.
And it's good, too.
Yeah.
We men want to take a woman in our arms, and a girl wants to take a man in her arms, and pretty soon we want to take him to bed with us. Go on. Go over there and touch it. Put your arms around her. Put your hand on her breast. See how far you can take your hand. See how far she'll let you go. Go ahead, girl. Touch him at the most sensitive part of his body. There is one place in the woman's body and one place in the man's body that creates multiplication. They're not two, they're not three, they're not four places, they're not 10 places. There is one place in the woman's vagina and the man's male organ. There's only one place in the woman's body where the male organ was designed to penetrate: the vagina. Only one organ made to bring forth life. It's the male organ. It's not in lesbianism where the tongue of a female goes into the vagina of another female. It's not in the male where the male organ goes into the part of the body where the waste matter comes out of the body that's poison, and he penetrates that part of the body in homosexuality. It's not to be put into the mouth of the man or the mouth of the man or the woman on the male organ. It is the male organ penetrating the vagina of the woman, the male and the female. He says, look at the orifices of the body, the openings in the body. Certainly you can't put the male organ or the woman's tongue in the eye. Maybe touch the ear. Certainly not in the orifices of the nose or the navel. But there are a couple of three other places. There's the mouth. There's the anus, where the poisons of the body are excreted. You can put it there. They didn't know how to handle it. There was a fire that rose up in them. They didn't know how to contain, and everybody knows when the sexual arousal reaches a certain point, the person goes insane. A bull, after a cow in the heat, if he cannot reach the cow and there's a barbed wire fence between them, will go through the barbed wire and cut himself to pieces in order to impregnate that cow. I was raised on a farm. I saw it. Men and women go wild. And then when it's perverted and becomes homosexuality, it's not only wild, it is insane. And the heat becomes so intense, the sexual heat becomes so intense. The male organ doesn't want the vagina of the woman, but to turn that person over and to enter into the rear where the poison comes out. And it keeps coming out until they develop AIDS with no immunity against disease, and they D-I-E, they die. God made the female breast, young man. What's wrong with you handling it, fondling it? Oh, sure, you're married to this girl, you're married to this man, but come on, let's have a good time. Somebody go get a six-pack. Bring in some bourbon. Pick up the phone and send in a couple of call girls. I go to church too, but, it didn't make me queer. Well, I wouldn't buy that 100%. Please erase that from the tape. I didn't. Let's edit that out, will you? The only way you ever become one flesh is when the male organ penetrates the woman's vagina. The only place, the only organs that can come together in completeness is the male organ and the vagina of the woman, and they become one. And if you interrupt that in any way, you become adulterous or a fornicator or a homosexual. And you've introduced a foreign subject. You've adulterated. And if in your sexuality you're outside of marriage with it,
and you do anything with marriage outside of the male organ penetrating the vagina, you're outside creation. Don't have to wait to get married to have intercourse. You don't have to have sex relations only with your wife or your husband. You can go outside and you can get it all. You don't have to use only the male organ or the vagina of the woman. You can use your tongue. You can use other things. You can use other orifices of the body. You can pervert it. You can pervert everything. Man, I got a quick fix. I can get you there now. I can satisfy you. I can set your impulses on fire. I can make your senses vibrate. I can let you lay hands on everything that came in the world to get it and deliver it to you now. Now, folks, that tastes good, that feels good. I can't tell you how good that feels and how good that tastes.
How good that tastes. Set your senses on fire.
On fire.
He's probably gay.
I play that video because not only because it's funny as hell, but I play that because, let's just be honest, the institutions that undergird all of our ideals, our concepts, our social game rules, how we interface with each other, although that shit sounded nonsensical and crazy, but a lot of that is how a lot of people still believe, right? What's happening is we're evolving as a society, as a culture, as a nation, and it's getting to a point where we're going to have to sit down and challenge what we thought was right, what we thought was true. Listen, if man make computers and computer software has to always be upgraded, what makes you think the software that's running in our mind? We have trauma software. We have relationship software. We have education software. All of these softwares are running, and they have to be upgraded too. They have to be challenged and vetted too. And if we're not doing that, at some point, we're going to hear ourselves talking like that dude at some point, because a lot of our beliefs come from there. Trust me, religion has a huge role to play in the women being marginalized, in the women subjugating their true passions and subjugating who they really are, and the women not being able to connect and really reach a space of authenticity. So all of it has to be on the table if we're going to challenge. Veronica, I want you to tell us where they can find you, because we have to wrap shortly. But where can they find you? How do they get in contact with you?
So you can find me, of course, at blackmastery.com if you want to mosey on over and get a little deprogramming for your back pocket.
Blackmastery.com.
You can get it over at blackmastery.com. Mm-hmm. You can find me at veronicaconway.com. And if you want to email me, you can email me at veronicaconway.com.
There you go. And I suggest anybody who wants to just holler at her and just get, a little side piece of, coaching, please just holler at her. Just talk to her. She's a real person. As you can tell, she's got information that's beneficial for everybody. Bobby, where can they find you, brother?
Twitter thing is at Glanton Smith, and I use that to just share certain thoughts I have on a daily basis. My website is www.realmendon'tplay.com.
Word.
And check out my show on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. PST right here at RMC on Live. It's the Real Men Don't Play show, and we bring it truth to power every Thursday evening.
Word.
And
good stuff, man.
Get some of that Real Men Don't Play. Some of these answers are in that book.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff, Bobby. Appreciate you. Whitney Tabor.
What's up, everybody? You can find me on Instagram at Miss Tabor. Also, hit me on Twitter. Same thing, at Miss Tabor. Facebook, Whitney Tabor. All that good stuff. Holla at me. Let me know what you guys think.
Brandy McGee.
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. The name is Brandy McGee, BrandiMagee. And if you want to catch me on Instagram, it's Princess Wildflower.
Yes, indeed. Listen, we're going to go to our grades right now. I think it's important that we, sum it up for the ladies. Grades.
Hilarious.
Grades, baby! I'd like to ask the chat room and Twitter, Yo, tweet me at Zoe Williams right now the grades you think these sisters should get. Don't
tweet
wow,
mine.
look at that. I see what's happening. Everybody, tweet us at Zoe Williams grades that you think the sisters deserve today for their openness and their honesty. Of course, you can't grade Veronica because she's the professor. Okay? So I'm going to hand out the grades that I think the sisters deserve today. Whitney Tabor did a hell of a job today. This is quite possibly your highest grade that I've ever given.
Turn up.
Whitney Tabor receives a B+ from me today. Oh, wow. Excellent.
I don't get. I want no grades.
Brandy McGee.
No grades for me.
It's time for Brandy. I know you like to fight with me on the grades and the grading. But, you did a solid job towards the second half of the show. I'm going to give you a D+ today. You're excellent.
I'll take an O, please.
You were excellent today. A D+.
I'll have an O.
Excellent show. I appreciate everyone for participating. And yes, we make fun. We try to make you laugh. We try to entertain. But at the same time, we want to make you think. And I'm going to say it again. The stereotypes that we're trying to live up to get in the way of us really understanding who we are, right? Stop trying to be a good man and find goodness within yourself. Stop trying to be wifey or wifey material, right? And find quality from the inside out. There's no way you can find quality from the outside in. You can't align yourself with quality outside of yourself. You have to connect with the quality that is within, and you'll find that now you're in a space of commanding quality into your life. As long as you're in pursuit of quality, you don't have it. But the moment you go in, you'll find exactly what you need, because spiritually speaking, you are all that you've ever needed. But if you don't have that understanding, and you think you can find it in someone, you're going to be, a diet woman? You're going to be the stereotypical lady and or man, and you're going to be frustrated sexually because you're not going to be doing things out of a space of authenticity. You're going to be doing things out of a space of approval, external approval, right? There should be no Vagina Bar. You should just be God woman. God woman is going to magnetize God men, and they're going to build God families, which in turn builds God nations. That's how it works. But this is the social game that we're playing today, and this is why men and women are at war. So, with that said, follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams, on Instagram at Mr. Zowat. See me on Mondays on tradiov.com for the Zoe What Morning Show. And again, here on Tuesdays at rmconlive.com for the Voice of Reason Show. This was a great show. I hope it challenged you. And we'll be getting it out there shortly in social media land. So we appreciate you. We'll see you next week with another hater. Voice of Reason, we out.